You ever have that feeling where you've worked incredibly hard for something, you finally get it, and it doesn't actually make you happy? Well, that's the exact question we're diving into today, using insights from TyAnn Osborn's book, A Life Aligned. Now, this explainer is based on a fantastic review from the YouTube channel Book Lovers Unite. So let's jump right in.
So this one question, it's pretty much the foundation of the entire book. I mean, it just perfectly captures that gut punch feeling, right? You get to the top, you look around, and you realize you're in the completely wrong place. The issue was never about how hard you worked, it was that your ladder was on the wrong wall from the very beginning.
And that feeling that you're on the wrong ladder, that's exactly what leads to burnout. We live in this hustle culture that tells us to just climb faster, work harder. But what if the problem isn't how fast you climb, but the wall your ladder is on?
And here's where the book makes a really powerful point. Burnout isn't about working too much. It's about working against your natural grain. Think of it like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. You can push and push with all your might, but all you're going to get is a whole lot of friction and eventually total exhaustion.
Okay, so if working against our grain is the problem, what's the solution? Well, the book says it all comes down to this core concept of alignment. This is the key to getting your ladder on the right wall, and it really helps to understand where the author is coming from.
And it's so important to know who's behind this idea. The author, TyAnn Osborn, she isn't just some theorist. She's a Gallup certified strengths coach. She has a deep background in corporate leadership. Her work is really grounded in practical tools like the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which is all about figuring out what really makes each of us tick.
And that brings us right to the heart of it, alignment. The book defines it as that perfect sweet spot, That place where what you do for a living is a perfect match for who you are as a person. It's when your work feels like a natural extension of yourself. The goal here is harmony, not just hustle.
But, okay, who you are, that can feel a little fuzzy, right? Well, the good news is the book breaks it down into 3 really specific components that have to overlap for you to find that true alignment.
So here it is, the secret sauce, if you will. True alignment happens where 3 things meet: your natural talents, your genuine passions, and your core values. If even one of those is missing, like say you're really talented at your job but it completely clashes with your values, that's the perfect recipe for friction, for burnout.
Now, this idea leads to a huge mindset shift. We're always told we need to be well-rounded, right? To work on our weaknesses. This book says, forget that. The goal is to be spiky. That means find what you're naturally amazing at and then pour all your energy into becoming truly exceptional at that. It's all about amplifying your strengths, not wasting time fixing your flaws.
Okay, let's get into what the Book Lovers Unite review called the single most important idea in the entire book. It's this distinction between 2 different zones where we spend our time at work.
So on one hand, you've got your zone of excellence. Now, these are things you are good at. People probably pay you good money to do them, but they leave you feeling totally drained by the end of the day. And on the other hand, you have your zone of genius. These are also things you're great at, but the difference is they energize you. This is the kind of work where hours just fly by.
All right, so here's a question for you, and I want you to really think about it. Just do a quick audit of your work week. What's the ratio? How much time are you spending on tasks that fuel you, in that genius zone, versus tasks that just deplete you? Seriously, that answer is your first big clue about how aligned you really are.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? Find your zone of genius, get aligned. But how do you actually do that? Let's talk about turning this theory into real-world action.
So one of the things the Book Lovers Unite review really loved about this book is just how concise and actionable it is. This isn't for someone who wants a dense academic textbook. It's for people who want practical tools. It reads way more like a personal coaching session than a lecture, and it gets straight to the point.
So if you want to try this out for yourself, here's your first mission, straight from the review. For the next 5 days at work, just keep a little energy log. After you finish a task, just jot down, did that fuel me or did it drain me? That simple piece of data is your first real clue to uncovering your own zone of genius.
And to wrap all this up, our source material from Book Lovers Unite doesn't just give a summary. It does something really cool. It leaves its audience with one last, powerful question to really get you thinking.
Let that one sink in for a second. What is that one talent, that one spark of your own genius that you know you have, but it's just sitting on the shelf at work? Just identifying it, that's a huge first step toward bringing it back into play.
And that's our look at A Life Aligned.
If you found this breakdown helpful, the original review is over on the Book Lovers Unite channel. I'm sure they'd appreciate a like on their video to help spread these ideas, and of course, a subscribe if you want more great book insights like this one. Thanks for watching.